So I've been given strict orders before I even introduce today's topic. First, welcome back to the Raised Hunting Podcast. I'm your host, David Holder. I'm joined by my co-host, and as always, sorry, but there'll be something said that wasn't supposed to be said. And the reason I know that is because we just did a podcast yesterday with the WCB boys, and lots of stuff was said there that I don't have to apologize for because it's their podcast. So, with that being said, Warren and Easton are both back today. Warren's back from his vacation where they caught some giant fish. But anyhow,
this is like the first podcast we've had us three back in like 3 or 4, isn't it? We ran a couple with me and Warren.
We're kind of busy. You know, we got things going on. So, but before that I go any farther, because this is going to come out right in time, if you guys are looking to check out where we are, we're going to be in Illinois at the Deer and Beer Fest this year.
And I think if this podcast is coming out right, it is in 2 days.
Yes. Well, 3. Because this will come out on Tuesday and we'll be there Friday.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll see you there. If you're not out and about doing something else, swing by.
You have sent questions. Dad's got a couple seminars that he's going to be doing.
And it just sounds like it's a lot of fun. We've never done this show, but the WCB boys have, and they said it's fantastic. They're going to be there. Michael Waddell is going to be there. There's several other friends of ours kind of thing. So we're looking forward to it. Should be a good time. So swing by the Raised Hunting booth. We'll have scents. We'll have canine stuff.
You know
everything.
Your booth number?
I don't know the booth number. So, all right.
So get a pamphlet and use the alphabet and find Raised Hunting when you get there.
Yeah.
Very easy.
We'll be there somewhere in an aisle. Inside, though, evidently there's an outside area.
Yeah.
We're not outside. We're inside.
Yes.
So
that is correct. Right. So today we're going to talk some whitetail deer. However, do you want me to do mine now, or do you want me to wait till after you do?
Just go through our intro stuff that we normally do. Warren needs to do his reviews.
Okay, so just so you know, we're going to be talking whitetail deer, but it is not a wacky fact. It is just some cool-ass facts that we're going to talk about before, which Warren doesn't know anything about. Easton does because he was there when I got the information last night. So, all right, go for it. What?
You're just teasing it? You're not?
We're going to do it in just a minute.
Yeah,
and
I don't know why he did that.
I can do it now. I want to do it.
I'm going to let you guys all know that I have a teaser to tell you about.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Okay, Warren.
Wait, nice he's doing it now.
Oh, you guys break my brain.
Okay, I'm doing it now. I can't stand it. Okay, so everyone knows that we went on a bear hunt this spring, right? And we killed several bears. Well, a couple guys, including myself, wanted to know the age of our bears. So what we did was we sent our teeth off to Matson's Labs, which is who we use for all of our whitetail stuff. Never done this with a bear before. However, I wanted to see, we just had some serious questions. One guy had shot one that we sent in, Mitch's bear. She just looked like a freaking decrepit old lady. I mean, it was a bad look. Like, teeth were all like mangled and gnarly, and so we're like, that bear's got to be old as hell. Well, Arturo killed a really big bear, and so we were like, I wonder how old that one is. And then the one I shot had the same thing. He had black, he was a solid black bear, but had silver, like little silver highlights in his face and stuff. I was like, almost like our black lab, Dan, as he starts to get older. I was like, I wonder how old this bear is. So let's hear your guesses. I know you haven't seen Mitch's bear, but you saw the video of mine. You saw Arturo's, and I'm just going to tell you I was nowhere even in the ballpark on my bear.
And all 3 are old, or?
No, all 3. I have the ages of all 3.
I know, are all 3 actually old?
Well, I don't know what you would consider old. I'm just going to tell you but just guess what you think the ages would be of a bear.
Give me any information.
On yours?
On mine.
21.
Okay. What do you think that Arturo's is?
Is that right?
No.
Younger or older?
Why you don't get information? I didn't get any information.
I haven't even looked at these bears, really.
I didn't either. I totally just pulled it out of my butt. I guess 8 and 11. I don't even know.
12 on Arturo's in
This
19
freaking looked at he's already seen the email. There's no way he gets that right. There's no way.
He's 2 for 2, isn't he?
Yes. No, he's actually got it backwards.
So what was it?
You reversed them. You looked at it, but
I didn't look at
you
How
had
is
to.
he
I
supposed to have
swear to
seen it?
God.
Because it's in an email.
To you.
Yeah, but he could.
What do you think he can hack you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not in your email.
Normally, I give him crap for cheating any way he possibly can, but this one, how is he supposed to see your email
I
before
don't
he
know.
even knows to look
but
for
there's
it?
no way he guessed those. Those numbers are so off. All right, so Arturo's bear was 12 years old, which is crazy because that is the youngest bear. However,
Okay. So Mitch's is 19.
no,
Yours is 19. Mitch's is 21. Or I mean, yours is.
Mitch's is 21 years old,
God dang, I'm good.
and mine was 18.
Dang.
And so what I'm thinking is when they sent the information, they sent it to him too.
I don't have the information.
However,
I'll show you my email.
You could probably understand. What do you think the average lifespan of a bear is?
Well, I feel like I remember Boo Boo was like 16 or 17.
Okay.
And then if Dad is that flabbergasted, they're clearly old.
There you go.
Yeah.
Process
And-
of elimination.
I
And
just
if there's
I was
one that's a
thinking-
snaggletooth and everything, and Dad describes it as super old, he's
Yeah, you-
probably pretty old.
I didn't remember Boo Boo, but I thought that bears, for whatever reason, could get to like 15 or 16, something
Oh,
like
no,
that.
they get
I
in their
didn't know how
20s.
old they really could.
Yeah, they can
And-
get real old.
Yep. And all these are marked A, which means that they're 99.9% they feel like it was accurate. That I mean, like there's no chance here that they're messed up.
I wonder what grizzlies get to.
Same thing, 20s.
Oh, my.
I don't know, but I just thought that is like really cool that
21 years old, that's pretty crazy.
that means that bear lived a plenty long life and everything like that. And I mean, you're taking some old bears out of it, but that goes to show the place that we hunted was the no-fly zone, and they said it had not been hunted in 10 years. I would agree with them then that, that these bears are getting
Hasn't
old.
been hunted in 10 years or nobody knows how to hunt in the area.
No, they up there, it's like if no one has the outfitting rights, then no
Yeah.
one hunts it. So, I mean, there might be a few locals hunting in there, but where we were, there ain't no locals.
It
So
really seems like locals are hunting.
Do you know what your bear weighed?
we weighed it. It was 200.
something.
Was it 296? It was just under 300. Yeah, just under 300.
With guts or without?
Without. No, with guts. Sorry.
Okay. So I just wonder why it must be genetic then that some of them, clearly your bear had the age. So it must just be a genetic thing on some of them, or these humongous.
Dad was saying
Well,
that last night.
and
He's going to yell at you again if you
I
listen
don't
to our
care.
podcast, but get her going.
So several years ago, when we first started going up there, we hunted with Grant Kuipers from Buck Paradise, and I did a little deal on YouTube. This is 15 years ago, probably. And so anyhow, I did this thing and was talking about, hey, if someone wants to go on a bear hunt, this is the place to go. I mean, it's absolutely. It's one of the most fun hunts you could ever do. You see 5, 6, 7 bears a night typically, and you're going to probably kill a 6-foot bear. You got a great chance of killing a Pope and Young bear. Don't go to Canada if you're expecting to kill a Boone and Crockett bear.
And
was
for anybody
my-
that's wondering, all you ever hear about is weight on
Mm-hmm.
bears typically. But if you are like Boone and Crockett, score-wise is their skull.
Right, which has got to be
So-
22, and
Oh, man, I
and a
always thought it
Pope
was
and a
21, but-
Pope and Young has to be 18. Well, they have tons of Pope and Young bears, but trying to kill a Booner, it just doesn't happen very often. Well, anyhow, I made those comments that we put it all out. People were like, "Oh, this is good information. Thank you." Well, then Grant calls me, and he's just beside himself.
Really
He's like,
big bears, though, as in weight.
Yeah, we've killed. Warren's killed one over 400. I've killed one over 400. So here's my point, though, is this says, if age was going to be something that their skull just kept getting bigger and bigger, then we should have killed a couple Boone and Crockett bears. I would say the genetics there are that their heads are small. You go to Prince of Wales, and it's exact opposite. I've seen guys kill 250-pound bears there with a 22-plus-something-inch skull. And it's like, holy cow, they just have there's a different genetic there that their head is bigger.
I'd rather kill a 400-pound bear, though, with a 19-inch skull than a 250-pound bear with
Sure.
a 22-inch skull.
I would agree with that.
I don't care. I just love hunting them.
Is it just me, or is that one of, I haven't hunted I haven't hunted that many big game animals in the grand scheme of things. I've hunted some. I feel like that's one of the harder ones one of the quite a bit harder Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett scores to actually hit. I think it is 21. I'm like 90%
maybe it is,
sure
but
it's
I
21,
can tell you, we've never killed one. I've been a part of probably 50 bears being killed. And
regardless, so I feel like that's both of those scores are pretty. Like I feel like 125-inch whitetail, depending on where you're at, is pretty doable. And maybe that's all it is for bears. That's pretty doable. And then you have this huge jump to 170. That's a pretty difficult task to do and get a Boone and Crockett. But that's kind of the point of Pope and Young to Boone and Crockett. For bears, I feel like it's a small gap, obviously, because they don't have as much inches that they're getting. But I feel like 18 is kind of high for
you guys are right.
Pope and Young.
So 20 inches gets you in. That's I can't remember what they have two different categories.
So like biannual records.
Right,
Yeah.
but 21 is,
21 is a full Boone and
for the
Crockett.
all-time category.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's still huge. That's a giant head.
Yeah. I think we've had a few that are 20.
20, yes.
Yeah. I feel like on the bears though, that was just the Boone and Crockett guys
Pulled
being
something
like,
out.
we need something to score these, because
Other than weight.
if you
it's-
correlate it from like antlers on racks on everything, the skull, it's like two totally different.
Yeah, it's two measurements, and it's
Things.
kind of odd measurements.
Well, they do the same for a mountain lion. There's a handful. They do it for.
Which that's another weight one. I mean, that's another one where
Well, I
you
think
shoot a
what-
180-pound tom.
but
you
I-
shot a freaking
Yeah, but I know
giant.
why they didn't. They wanted to get away from weight because you could kill a mountain lion that just ate a deer, and it's going to weigh 175 pounds. 4 days later, it's going to weigh 140 pounds. That's why
guess.
they didn't want to go. And same with baiting bears. If you're baiting bears, you know how many Twinkies Mitch feeds the bears in Arkansas? They
sure a
get
lot.
fat. So what they're saying is they don't want someone to be able to
Alter it.
alter it
All I'm
themselves.
saying, like, is if you took a 170-inch deer and you measured his skull, would you find that sometimes the biggest deer have small skulls?
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's just, I think it was just like a way where they were like, we want to have some kind of metric to score these things.
I don't know, but it's one of the most difficult to judge on the hoof. Imagine you're looking at a head
on
going,
the paw.
yeah,
But
and
nobody looks at a bear
says
and
that's
is
a
like,
booner.
look at the size of his head.
Unless
You're
it's really
always like-
big.
Yeah, unless it's oddly big. But otherwise, you're like, just look at the size of that freaking bear.
Yeah, you're always talking weight.
You're never like seeing a skinny one and you're like, oh, he's really skinny. But look at the size of that head.
I don't know. But so, and then I got another tidbit of information about black bears that I just found out. Okay, since you're so damn smart, you didn't. We'll see if you know this one. So tell me what state is opening a black bear season this year for the first time ever?
Oh, I know this, I think.
The first time ever.
Yep. It's proved. It's going into the books.
I'm going to guess after Warren
I
guesses.
want to say that it's 23 days long. They're going to kill 187 bears. It's off of a quota this first year.
So they have quite a few bears.
They do. They figure they have 4,000 bears.
And it's got to be on the east side of the country.
You start quizzing information and
Well, you gave me process of elimination on the
Yeah.
last one. You just didn't realize it.
I'm pretty sure it's not. It's Midwest, I think.
Well, I think Michigan has a season.
South of Iowa. I'm pretty sure
Missouri.
Missouri or Kentucky, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Florida.
I just heard about somebody
thought
saying
Florida
that.
had a
They've always
season
had a
already.
season.
No, it is now. This first time, and then in 2 years they're actually going to have a hound season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Missouri, though, I think they've actually discussed that they're getting to that point.
I think they're getting close too.
They've
They're,
got quite
they're
a few
coming up
black
from
bears.
Arkansas.
Yeah, but they're in the north part.
Well, they may be. Well, and then we just heard what's his name saying we got bears here.
Yeah, he's
Three
probably
of 'em.
He's probably mad at me. One of our guys that listens to
Andy, the DNR, they got confirmed bears that are living in Iowa, not just traveling through.
hibernating, and like they actually stay.
Like when you say three, like a sow and two cubs.
Sow and two cubs is what it sounded
Okay.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a Florida bear, I would migrate.
Oh, that'd be awful.
No way.
Yeah, no
I'm
thanks.
So freaking hot in the sun.
I would be in Canada. Going for
I
a
would
long
go up there
walk.
too. All right, do we want to get into it, or did you even get to do your freaking?
No.
I think
What?
I think
What?
Missouri
Sorry.
but it's
Those were going to
probably
be
okay.
funny, though.
Tell me,
weren't they?
you guys let us know. Tell me
I'll
that
read you
wasn't
the
worth
one
it. That
comment.
was
I want to
worth
read
it.
the one.
Okay. Jake DeLee. Where was it?
He's the one that's roasting me? Yes.
Yes.
Freaking turd.
He says, "Hey, Dr. Deersember, no offense, but I can't trust your early season tips on patterning."
He's dang right. I want to look at the my dates. We keep track of all the dates and everything that we've shot anything. I only know off the top of my head of one deer that I've shot early in the year with you, the buck and the doe.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't. I mean, I know when I was younger, when I was shooting like just the first deer that came by, but I still think those were like late October or something like that.
Late October is not early season, but
But it's not nothing like what I'm used to.
No.
But yeah, it's definitely been years recent where my lots
Well, I
of
think
hunting.
one thing is true. We don't shoot a lot of them. I mean, it has to be the right deer to shoot them early. One thing is we're not hunting those. We're not, or at least I'm not. I'm not hunting those deer. When I'm sitting in some of the places where I go to shoot does, I know I got a way less chance of seeing a big buck. I've passed up more deer early in the season that someone just wandered by. A couple of times, the stand where you saw Gump last year,
Yeah.
that stand there, Dakin and I passed a really good deer, like second or third day of the season, like 150-inch 8 face mask.
Yeah.
Came walking by us right there.
I'm a big believer of that one being that you can, if you don't have the right place to put the right food in, the amount of food in you need, the good bedding and everything that you have there, that it's really hard to do early season. I think the only way is if you can go all out on, maybe that's what we talked to old Mark about, besides the moon phases when we talked to him. Because they got it figured. They know how to do that stuff too, but I think they have a lot of control over what they have for food and where and how and things like that. All right. We ready for this?
Yep.
All right, this is from one of you guys actually. This is if anybody else wants these, you have to send them in, but follow this guy's template here. He gave us a lot of information. He gave us a screenshot with pins, everything. We will not share your screenshot of your land, but this is another land breakdown by the Raised Hunting Boys, and this one is from our boy Justin Gray. He sent some stories in before. So today he says, I'll skim through this and I'll show you guys the pictures. Actually, I'll give you guys a picture now so that you can see it as he references some of his pins. There. I printed it in color for you, too.
I have to put my glasses on.
So Justin says, hello, I have a 65-acre lease property and an additional 5-acre field that I have permission to hunt as well from the neighbor. On this property, we have me, my dad, and the landowner's brother-in-law, who is your typical Illinois sausage hunter, who will shoot the first thing that walks in front of him. Nothing wrong with the old sausage hunter, all right? We, in the past few years, have never really had consistent bucks on trail camera until I have used the Scrape Addict scent. Hey, good plug. I appreciate you. The property itself is surrounded by hundreds of acres of agricultural fields, and the 5-acre field that I have permission to hunt is all soybeans right now. I have 3 stand sites that I typically hunt throughout the year. One is the newer stand, and I have had consistent photos of a buck that I call Ghost, who has shown up on. Ghost has gotten his name because he only appears at night or early in the morning, and he will walk by my trail camera, then vanish without a trace. The only physical evidence I have of him existing is 4 years of sheds, and last year he slipped up and showed himself in a field during gun season where he slipped back into the woods and vanished again. The neighbor had him on trail camera in late December. This is the area that I have new permission to hunt on for this bow season coming up and hoping I can get him in. I only have one trail camera photo of Ghost so far this year, but have seen him cruising the edge of the hayfields. Attached is a property I hunt, and the pins are as followed. Blue pin by the barn is where we have to park. I have clarified that with them. They can't change that, in case you guys were going to question that. Red X is one tree stand for gun hunting, and it's in a dried-up pond that now has a mix of clover and a few water troughs. We have a photo of this year of Ghost in that one, I'm assuming is what he's saying. The black pin is where I have a stand that I've killed 2 bucks out of back-to-back and will most likely let this area cool off for the year. Last is the pink pin, where Ghost was spotted last year. I've put mock scrapes out there. The stand is about 20 yards into the woods, and has a hill behind me. The only problem is the woods are incredibly thick until later in the year, so I don't know if my access is an issue. We typically use the old logging roads to get into the stands. The pink and black pin are the only ones that we walk the field edge to. Is that a good or a bad thing? I just wanted to basically pick your brains on what y'all would do if I'm on the right track or not. This deer is easily the biggest deer I've ever hunted. Thanks and God bless. So that is some very good information. Do you guys have questions? I did converse with him a little bit because I figured I had a couple questions that you guys would probably already ask to get a clarification on. Right off the bat, do you guys have anything?
Let's hear your additional information.
So unfortunately with the parking spot, the property itself is on an easement road. We've had problems in the past with the farmers getting mad about the trucks on the side of the road, so to keep the peace, we park at the barn. I do have a cell camera about 80 yards away from the newsstand, and I have ghosts showing up in the morning and even one of him going to bed down. Listening to the recent podcast about a buck moving off the property, it got me worried. As the neighbor has shown me several photos of him in November during the daytime, and he's always getting them at night. Okay, I don't think there's any more clarification.
Okay. Do we know if the neighbor is northeast, southwest?
Uh-huh. I have no
The one that got the pictures of him.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have any? You want to start, or you want me to?
You can. I mean, I have some ideas that I would look at, but
Somebody also asked this in another, in one of the reviews, was how to tell if a deer is on the fringe. So I think this could be a good time to address that as well, just an FYI. Well, the very first thing I would say is I think that Ghost is a resident. If you have 4 years of sheds of him, that's pretty incredible, honestly.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I've not been around many people that do see him during the season. Sometimes, rarely, but then here's the good information I have: 4 sets of sheds around him. That's freaking awesome.
So I'd say he's a resident because you have 4 years of sheds of the deer, and you're getting pictures of him in the summer. So to me, that would say that the deer probably lives there. He doesn't have a different home ranges. He's there most of the time, or at least close by. I would say that your access is concerning to me, as far as this just looks like a very difficult place to access.
yeah, because you're coming from the west.
So how we can
Go on.
describe this to some of our people that aren't, because obviously we're not going to show this piece of land. We don't want to air anybody out, but it's 65 acres, and probably 75% of it is a block of timber. That is, it looks as though the timber goes into the neighbor's property as well, but even I think I zoomed out a little bit when I got the thing, and there's not much timber around. Like, this is the main chunk of timber here. And so the rest, everything around it, to the north, there's a big ag field. To the southwest, it's a smaller field. And then around the east and the south is also ag. So it's one chunk of timber is what we're looking at here. I don't think there's any water on it, unless that's showing that that's a creek.
I think that
I
is
think that's
creek.
a river there, though.
I was going to say the north, I know there's a river going by.
I assume that blue line is a creek.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so I don't know if there's water in it or not, but there is some form of creek or remnants of one going through. But he has water right here. Yeah. It looks like, I think there was some this way, but like to the west, if he's got that north and south on there. But yeah, that is a chunk. I mean, then there's some fingers and stuff, but that was like the heart.
Okay. So if I'm in his shoes, the first thing that I'm going to do is if I can get them, is I'm going to get more cameras. I also want to know the neighbor. Who is the neighbor? What direction is this neighbor that gets pictures during the daytime? And I'm going to kind of index towards that direction. Are they east, south, northwest? What is it? And I'm going to put a couple other cameras in here in some spots that you may not think are the obvious ones. So, like, it looks like we're kind of ignoring this field down here,
Which is to the southwest.
Yep. And if these kinds of properties, honestly, are my favorite. I like these properties. And you got 60 acres, and it's some of the main only timber around, I think that's one of the best scenarios that you can have, because typically that deer is living in there somewhere. You just got to figure out where that is. So I would be expanding my horizons, and I'd be putting cameras out kind of all over. And then I would be pretty selective and careful on how I'm going to hunt this deer. As far as this, I think you could burn this deer pretty quick, because if you try, like the black stand, I love that location. If you hunt that several days in a row, I think that that's going to be an awfully tough piece not to burn a bunch of deer.
So what? Again, we got to try to visualize for other people.
Right, it's right in the center of the block of timber.
Yes, and this is a really good one in my opinion that a lot of other people probably run into. And if you guys are listening to Warren, this is how I've learned a lot of things of just talking or going through different processes or trying to find deer or whatever. If you're listening to how he's looking at the land or whatever and what he's asking, those are the things you should be asking yourself, such as, okay, I do have some information on a deer that is going to the neighbors or whatever. Or they've sent me pictures. Okay, you may be thinking of it normally like, oh, that's the neighbor over there. Okay, well, that's a big piece of information of which way they're traveling, left, right, west, whatever, and if they're coming back to you consistently. Then what Warren is also referring to here is this block of timber that is vast majority on this property. Smack dab in the center of it is where his black stand location is. And so that's what Warren is referring to, that, and I think we'd all probably agree that if we can assume that there is some bedding in that area, if not significant amount of that being bedding, that if you're going right into the freaking center of it, you may be in one of the best spots ever to see some deer once or twice. But if you push that too much, you're now just about any wind in those situations. Doesn't matter if it's the one you think is good. If you're in the center of everything, things wind you, because they're going to be coming around you and going through and going by this way, that way, and the other. And it's a high pressure type of stand.
Meaning you don't want to go into that stand until you're ready to go all in.
I've single-handedly ruined bottoms because of this.
So
yes.
I want to compare this a little bit to.
Like you think you're going to kill him. That's when I'm going in there.
Yeah, but here's what I would offer to people that I think this will help them on no matter what. What I'm about to say is, applies not to just hunting, but even if you're looking to purchase your first farm, or you're looking to lease a piece of ground, or you're getting permission and you're trying to figure out whether this is the right place to be hunting, type thing. And that is, we have a farm that we hunt that is very similar to this, where Sean used to be, the deer Sean.
Yep.
This reminds me of that northern piece of timber.
Big chunk of timber.
Big chunk of timber. And it's okay. And what I'm getting at here is what I look for on OnX is not even on the property that I'm hunting. If the property that I'm hunting is just that chunk of timber, I go and I look at all the neighbors, and I'm talking even a half a mile or a mile away. Where is the other big chunk of timber? Where is it that I think they're going to come in and out, or are they going to follow a creek bed or a river or the edge of a cornfield? And I'll go a mile or two around that property to see, and you'd be surprised at how all of a sudden you see the travel pattern of, I would bet money that the deer that he's talking about that neighbor's getting pictures of, there's another block of timber outside of, we can't see it on the map, that he's heading to. And so he's traveling from one place to the other for some reason.
Dad's saying, look at the place without borders.
Yeah, that would be a good
deer
way to
don't
say.
look at it with, they're not, oh, that's Bill's place, that's
Right.
Bob's place.
That's actually really good.
They're looking at it as, I like his beans,
Right.
or
Right.
this is good bedding. So
That's
I agree with that.
Solid tip to get out of your subconscious head or whatever. Turn your land markers or like your land parcels off in that filter, so you can just see just land, and then use your other. There's been sometimes, maybe you guys have more of an opinion than I do on it, but if you know how to read it pretty well, the topo stuff, you can find some consistencies sometimes of where they're
100%.
going left and right and stuff. There's other places I've seen where it's been kind of like, what the truck are these deer doing? But if you can read your topo lines and things like that, you can get a good idea too.
Well, now that OnX has all that, and in the 3D mapping that they have, you can dang near do a bunch of your scouting
Pretty much go into it
without even having to go there,
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's kind of what I'm looking at on that. I love this stand where he brought this one, and what I'm looking at, he has a stand, what I would call on an inside corner But I almost, and I can't see the property exactly or what this timber looks like, but I almost would back up because of these lines coming through here to somewhere right in here. I don't know what the distance is. If that's 40 yards, can I still shoot that edge to that creek?
How are you going to access that?
Well,
The only
I'm
way you
assuming
can
the
access
only
that is
way
if
he's
you-
coming around, I'm possibly going to come all the way to the fence line and come up, but I don't know if this is where they're feeding, or you do the opposite and come like this. But the
You know what I'd be doing? I'd put my floaties on.
floaties.
I'm putting my floaties
Go
on.
right this way.
No. I'm putting my floaties on, and I'm finding an access on that river.
Well, that
And I'm coming into that river, and bloop.
Yeah, you'd have to see if
if you can get the I'm
that.
assuming that you can't get permission to do that. I mean, I guess
This, in my opinion, is one. I wish there was a way, and maybe there's a way that we can eventually start pulling up something similar that's not there.
I know how. Keep talking.
But this
Whiteboard,
is the
draw it.
example to me of you have deer here, you know deer are there, you know that they are liking to hang out there during the rut multiple times of the year. You've got food, you've got bedding, you've got everything going for you to be able to do this. The key that is going to kill you, your bigger deer, I think, in my opinion, or the big boys that are in there that you're struggling to kill or whatever, is access. I think that is the hardest one to really figure out, to be able to get into a spot with the right wind, that you're going to the right tree stand with the right wind, and not bumping deer, not going through all of them. Right now, from what I understand, from what they're explaining on how they get to their stuff, and I think they're doing that because based on where they have to park and things like that, that they're kind of limited. But having to walk into the timber at all, unless I'm going to the one single stand that's right there in the center of it, I'm avoiding it.
See, I wouldn't be that concerned if I'm going in at dark 30, because I don't think those deer are there.
If you're going there where they're
in the morning,
when you know they're all out in the fields, yeah, that's one thing. But if you're going in, I mean, or you're gonna have to get out. That's another thing too.
No, that's an issue. I would think getting out is more of an issue than getting in.
Yeah.
Because
and vice versa in the evenings. If you're going in an afternoon hunt, you're obviously walking straight through their bedding.
Because what I would do, I would compare that to, let's say, the Ralph farm. Okay, we can get to those stands. Those deer are not in that timber, and yet, but when you get in there, you're fine. But when they get there, they stay there.
You have a way to get out though, because then you can go out through the field.
You can. It's still hairy. I mean, we've all had to climb out of a stand there with deer within 50 yards of us.
Yeah,
you know, that's
I would agree with that. This is great. There's got to be a way that we can eventually just put this on a TV or something where they can't or replicate it or something.
The problem is,
I'm like Van Gogh.
and here's the guys. We're just trying to be courteous to the people that have sent stuff in, because we did have an issue one time. Honestly, what was nuts?
No, people are psychos. That's why.
Well, what we were doing, we did
deer.
Yeah, this wasn't about anyone's farm. This was a piece of an instructional video we did about, what was it about even? I can't remember.
You were just using, I think you're talking about funnels or something like
that.
Yeah,
and so we had one of the video guy. Well, no, this wasn't even, but that's where it was. That was the location. But it was before I killed Brahma. I don't know. Well, anyhow, someone like threw a fit that we threw.
We had one because it was when Dad filmed some other stuff, like way back for instruction.
Like I'm talking like years ago, and then I just told the video guy, find a place that has this and this, meaning a field like this, and and he found one, and he got all the roads off of it, and we thought we're fine.
Yeah, video on Onyx.
Until someone recognized it and said, "You're airing out where I hunt," and I'm like, holy cow, we're not talking.
Which only that person would have been able to tell anyways.
Right.
But, okay. So, to give most people an idea here.
We need a legend for this, not a dog.
Like
I was going to say, he's with his mommy.
Ag
South, too.
Stand.
Different color Sharpie.
Barn. Stand.
That's awful.
Camera. Yep.
He agrees.
Field. Okay.
We have our X's and O's. We should probably circle those X's.
So we've got a drawing for a podcast.
So
Nunya River. That's freaking funny.
So we got Nunya River up here. Ag field. Stand 1. Stand 2. This is timber. Okay, this is
all
middle
the
timber.
S's and slivers.
So for people listening, we basically have one airstrip up here right along Nunya River. Ag field on the left, ag field on the right. The timber makes kind of a
backwards
rectangle
D
shape. Yeah, backwards D to some extent, and looks like it's fairly dense timber. This is our parking on the west side. We have another field down here. And then this is pretty much all timber. Okay, so my initial, if you guys are good for a second, I'm just going to give you my gut feeling on
Get her
this.
going.
Okay, so my gut feeling is this deer lives here. If this is true, like how much timber are we talking about when you zoom out?
I don't remember that well. I look at a lot of these, man.
Okay, well, we're just
got
going
a
to
lot
assume
of people that message in.
We're just going to assume Easton's right and that the deer does live here, or that there's not that much timber around anywhere else in real close proximity. My gut feeling is that one of two things is going on here. Either one, the deer does live here and you're just missing him, or two, that you are putting too much pressure on too early out of the gate and you're moving him off. That's my gut feeling, because this would be a pretty easy piece, I think, to bump into him several times. Why I think the deer could be living here. The sheds, the daylight photos in the summer. Sounds like it was a daylight photo recently, right?
He sees him during the summer.
Sees him during the summer.
His trail camera picture, yeah, it's daytime.
Okay, trail camera picture there. Sounds like the neighbors isn't too far. I'm not sure where the neighbors is in daylight photos there. And you're still seeing him in early morning. To me, those are all indicators that the deer probably is here. The other reason I say this is I hunted a deer we called Magnum that he was, you could take a block like this, and I had a camera here, and I got pictures of him every day. And then I had a camera down here, and I didn't have a picture of him once the entire year. And we're talking a 200-yard difference. It was literally 200 yards, and it was a big scrape, lots of bucks hitting it. Never had him on that camera one time. Moved that camera 200 yards to the north and lit it up. He was there every day. And the only reason I ever knew about him is because we were sitting a stand next to that camera and saw him. And then I was like, who the hell is that deer? And so sure enough, he was there. If I was this gentleman, one of the first places I'd be paying attention to, I'd be expanding my horizons and see everything that I've thought that wouldn't be worth looking at, I'd look at. And then I'd be putting cameras like down here. To me, this is a sweet pinch point. You could, if they're not coming into this field that much in the morning there, if you came right here with a west wind, nobody's going to know you're there. And you're going to get all kinds of deer funneling through there. So that's what I'd be looking at. I'd be trying to expand my horizons. I'd be spreading out cameras, putting cameras in different spots, and seeing if all of a sudden it can be a light switch where all of a sudden he's just, holy crap, he is all the time. That's what I would do. For this one up here, this is where I was talking about, I'd be like trying to get into Nunya River if I could, so that I could come in an afternoon hunt at least. I'd come right through the field and get into my stand without ever going through any of this timber. Otherwise, I have to park back there, and I have to try to access up through here, and I don't like that very much. I don't know, unless you're going to hunt with like a south wind and just try to hunt, or walk as tight to this fence line as you can and pray that they can't see you in there.
You're referring to a morning or an evening?
An afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't like, if I can avoid it, I don't like walking next to the stuff that I want to hunt where I'm expecting them to come out of for that afternoon. The only other thing, too, I would keep in mind, that this seems obvious, but I've done it several times, is make sure that you're considering your wind when you're walking in on all of the timber, right? So, like, I would be like, when I was a younger hunter, I'd be like, oh, for this stand, I got west wind perfect. I'm going to be just fine.
And then you did
and
this
then I walked,
like that and blew it through the entire
and I'd be like,
forest.
why the hell haven't I seen a deer? It's because I made sure to flog the entire timber from where I wanted them to come out of before. But I got to my spot, and the wind was great there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you walk by where all of your deer are in the middle of the day.
Well, you went to get the board when we were talking about it. If I was going to hunt this in the morning, I wouldn't be as concerned about cutting through the timber to get to wherever I'm going, because if it's typical of your deer aren't going to be in here at that time. They're going to be out in the ag field somewhere, so you might have a chance to slip in there. And that now one of the things that you might need to employ is an all-day sit. You get in, stay put, and let them work their way around. This would be the type of location that you could kill a deer at 11 or 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. Meaning he's not up going to do anything, but he's up circling through the bedding area to check does, and he moves 100 yards. This one is the one that I say I really like, but I would back that up just a hair. These two are a little closer together than what they are on the actual OnX map that we're looking at. I would think I would back that up into this corner, and because these deer don't need to come out into that field or out into this field to check that field, because they can use the wind. So
let's ask ourselves all this question first. Do we believe the deer is there?
I do. I believe that deer. Put it this way: I believe that deer is killable on that property.
Okay, killable.
Meaning he's going to be there during
daylight.
He's there
enough that you should be able to catch him during daylight. At
daylight hours during hunting season, he travels through there at some point.
Okay.
The only alarming thing I had with it was that he sees him during the spring, the summer, in his sheds. But then when it comes around the season, he's getting them at night all the time on cameras, which to me could either be maybe he's not bedding there during that time of year, or you just you're not in the right spot. So I do think, as far as him being around the area, it doesn't seem like the deer just vanishes completely. As far as,
did he say how many cameras he's running?
I think only 1 or 2.
Well, see, that to me is.
Warren would have 50 if the deer was the biggest deer in his, and this was his property.
I wouldn't have 50, but I'd probably have 5.
I know of at least 1.
Okay, so
I only have 1 trail camera. Oh, only 1 trail camera photo of Ghost.
You got to pick though. Is he on there or not?
How are you supposed to pick that? If I'm being honest, I mean, I think he spends.
You have to go off your gut.
I don't think he spends the majority of his time there during the rut.
Okay, so Dad says he's there. Easton says he doesn't think he's there. I think he's there. So then let's go through each of our strategies. This is my strategy. Step 1. Where's the neighbor that has the daylight photos? That's step 1.
Yeah.
I want to know where that is, and then step 2 is, if I don't have more cameras, I'm going to go cut some lawns, do whatever I need to do to buy some more cameras. Mm-hmm. And I'm putting a camera down here, all these places that you have avoided. I'm putting a camera here, there, wherever. Okay, so that's step 1 for me. Where's my neighbor? Step 2, buy more cameras. Step 3, probably going to have brand new information to go off of with those cameras. Step 4 is, I'm going to, if I'm saying this year I'm killing Ghost, I am going to be very careful, and I'm going to be trying to talk to. He says he shares this with his dad and his neighbor, or his some other.
He hunts it with his dad, and then the landowner's brother-in-law.
But he's a sausage hunter.
Yeah, he's a sausage hunter.
So does that mean he's not there during bow season then? I mean, he only comes in during, or is he just that he's willing to shoot anything? Because that could be the issue right there. If he's someone
the first thing that shoot the first thing that walks in front of him. I don't know what time of year that is.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna be keeping in the back of my mind that I might have to deal with sausage hunter, and that hopefully that means gun season. But I'm gonna be telling my dad that there's a big deer somewhere else, and he should be hunting that one. No, but I would be talking to my dad, and I'd be saying, look, I think if we want to kill this deer, we're gonna have to be really delicate here, because if you have 65 acres on an island and you guys are going in there all the time, and this is a mature, smart deer, he's not gonna tolerate it
much. Yeah.
So, I'd be very careful about that, and I'd be learning what I could from these new cameras, and then I'd be very intentional about the times that I am going to go in there and I'm going to try to kill him. And if I can find out that, okay, hey, he is actually coming out into this field, or he is moving down here more than I thought he was, or he's coming through here, I'm going to try to hunt these on the fringes when the conditions are not ideal as carefully as I can. So let's just say October 7th, and it's 70 degrees. I'm not going into the black stand,
right?
And I'd be very careful about that until I got to the times where I feel like, okay, now's my chance. I'd be utilizing our scrapes and using Scrape Addict, Buck Junkie, whatever, and trying to find a few scrapes create a couple scrapes kind of right there on the interior of the timber and see if I could get a photo of him anytime before October 20th. If I did during the day, then the 20th through the 30th, 31st, I should say, every conditions that I have is right. I'm sitting there. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting right there. And I think you would have high odds of, with the wind right, everything, of killing that deer in that 11-day window.
That would be everything Warren's describing is what I would do. The only difference would be on my cameras. Those cameras, unless I had something that gave me like, this is a trail I need to check and see. I just see a lot of these big bucks don't walk the main trails. So unless there was something like that, every one of my cameras is going to be on a scrape that I make or one that they have. And what I'm looking for is one would be a daylight photo. That would be great of him hitting a scrape, but I'll take something within an hour. If it's at 4:30 or 5:30 in the morning and daylight is at 6:15, if I'm just got him close, that tells me he's around there in the morning. Or if I see it in the evening.
He's not going 2.5 hours somewhere else.
So it doesn't have to be that it's a daylight photo. It just has to be that we're getting to daylight, either getting or going away from daylight. So I know he's still close to me. But those scrapes are going to help me zone in on where I need to be there.
Yep.
If it gives you more, I just reread one of his things. I think going off of, he said that he's got his stand, or one of the stands in the farthest corner he can, as the neighbor has shown me several photos of him in November in the daytime. So I
would
think
assume
as
that's
the
this
north one.
Yeah.
And I would imagine the deer is going north
toward that river.
Somewhere up there during the rut or during November. So if that gives you more direction on location, but you can't quote me on that.
Well, see, and I wonder what wind is wonder what wind he's hunting that stand with. Because if I'm hunting that stand, I desperately, looking at what we have drawn here, I want a northwest wind. I want to be able to see where my wind is blowing to and know that I'm not jacking anyone up. Meaning it's blowing out into a field. I'm thinking this is a morning that I'm sitting here, and now this whole river serves as a place to feed back to here.
If the deer, if he's as far up here as he can, then maybe
he's across the river,
across Nunya River. And if that's the case, I would think that you're in a solid spot because you're between these two timber. I personally would probably want a west wind, especially in an afternoon, to be hunting that. And that could be your problem right there, is your access. If that deer is in here and likes going to the neighbors, and you're having to come from there with a northwest wind or a west wind, you're probably never getting to that stand without him knowing you're there.
Though, I'd be hunting that with a straight south wind.
I'm just saying, I don't know what this looks like.
Yeah.
Well, it actually looks like there's a slight slope there, which may not be in your favor either, actually, the direction that slope is. That you may not be able to get to that stand from that access without him knowing you're there. Bullwinkle did that to me, where if you came from Nunya River, he'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And you'll probably kill him first.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, this is just something in this particular case, but this could work anywhere. A lot of times you can get permission from a neighbor to cross to a property, not to hunt.
Yep.
Meaning you give them your word, that, hey, look, all I'm trying to do is enter this piece of property, and I could cut across here, whether it's from the river on this particular case or through the ag field. I don't want to drive across your place or anything like that. I just would like to, my stand is 40 yards off the fence or whatever. Would you mind if I just cut through there, And you might be able to acquire a different way to get there.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so. You guys have me thinking a lot more about him hanging out there more than what it sounds like. It sure seems like these neighbors know a lot about this deer. As in, have a lot more information than he does.
I don't know.
But that could also just be that
the reason,
pictures.
I guess the one reason that I say he's there is because I'll use Straight Up as an example.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay, but here's the thing about Straight Up. When Straight Up would leave where we see him in the summer, never once, not one single photo on that farm during hunting season at all, nighttime or daytime. He never went back over there. When he left, he left. And then you couldn't run him off of.
But you found his sheds where you killed him, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So what's your? Because this one doesn't. That's what I'm saying is I thought of Straight Up as an example because we found his sheds all the time. We knew where he summered, which was not where you killed him.
Correct.
And then you killed him where you did find his sheds. Are you just saying that he may not? He does. This deer does summer there. At least he's got pictures of him during the summer.
But he's also there during the winter, and so.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it sounds more and more like maybe I should have gone the other way, considering the fact that it sounds like the only time of year he doesn't have as much information is during the season, which could also be because of pressure.
It sounds like the deer is still there during the season.
Yeah,
he's just there at night or early in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, because otherwise, like Gypsy was the only other one I was thinking of, and because that would be summer and shed season. But you're not going to be, other than the one weird time last year he did that, you're not getting, that deer's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not there during hunting season, where I don't think that that's our scenario here.
No, it sure seems like he's, now that connecting all the dots, he's got a lot of time spent there for him just to vanish during the one time, the 1 or 2 months.
And even if he did move over a little ways and was spending more time on the neighbors and things like that during the rut, some doe is going to drag him back. That's a comfortable area for him. He's not afraid of being there. The difference in Straight Up is it sounds like we're talking a mile and a half that he would have to go back. It sounds like to me, judging from that we're talking about something within a quarter mile here that is the neighbor that's getting this deer. So he's not, that to me, he's not gone.
Yeah.
He's still there.
And find out too, we find out, hey, that the only place that he is going, the neighbor that gets him all the time is to the north, and he's always going north. And you find out, you put cameras all along through here or whatever, and you find out that he's never on the south side. Like that's his imaginary border.
Yeah, this is the end of his area right there.
That's where I'm accessing now, because I don't care about, I'm going to run into a bunch of other deer, but I don't care about running them out, as long as I know I'm not messing with the one that I'm trying to kill.
That would be true.
But you need to know that info first.
Yeah, you can't just go tromping through assuming.
There's been many times that we have walked to somewhere in a morning especially, in an evening especially, but even in the mornings with the right binoculars, you can look in a field and see the deer I'm looking for is not there. We got to go. We need to be in that stand. And I've gone right. My first Pope and Young deer, I bumped 6 or 7 deer that were in the field because I needed to get to where I was going. And but it was awesome because I'm looking through binoculars at dark 30 and there was snow on the ground. And I'm like, there's a little buck, but he's not there. Bumped him and went in. Hour and a half later, here he comes through the field and comes right in, and I could kill him. So sometimes, but at that point, when we were talking about gambling on that stand in the center, I was at that point. I was like, okay, it's now or never. It's time to go. Don't keep messing around here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Fair enough. Well, there's another land podcast for you guys. I think I've got 1 or 2 others that we've looked at, or that I have banked still, but if you guys have something similar, we may not get to everybody's. We try to do our best, but like this one, send us information, give us as much as you can, as after hearing things like this, you're probably gonna, and we have some from last year you could listen to, you'll probably start to get an idea of some of the things we're going to ask you, so try to include as much information as you can, as well as photos, whether that be of deer, preferably the land at a minimum, so that we can see what it is. And then we'll give you our best guess with not being there, but hopefully some form of information that helps you guys be a little more successful this season. So
send these in. They're fun.
Yeah, we enjoy them.
I would like to, before we close the podcast, spend 5 minutes talking about rub trees.
Contact@raisedhunting.com, by the way.
because I'm getting lots of people are messaging us and calling and ask because it's getting to be about that time. And I think we just want to clarify a little bit about rub trees. If you're thinking about putting one out, now is the time to start thinking about doing it. The only reason we don't put them out early is the deer are not going to hit them until they come out of velvet. However, it doesn't hurt for you to go ahead and put that tree in a little bit early. So if you're looking at doing it, the other question we keep getting is what tree? And I would think that by now we have
beat the dead horse.
Horse on that, but it's a white pine tree. Scotch pine is the only other one that I would say works to the same extent. I'm not saying you can't use any other tree, even a cedar tree. We have people do it. We don't see the same effect using a different tree. The two reasons why we feel the white pine is superior: it's very soft, so they can really get their antlers in their, not just their antlers, but their head and everything into the tree, and it absorbs their scent when they're doing that. The other one that helps with that is they're very sappy. So they're very sad, yeah. So they leave.
Stop hitting me.
Yeah. The weeping tree, But so those two reasons are why.
Says, "You better watch it, fool."
What?
Yeah, and then no deer hit it.
Goodness.
So, but anyhow, those two reasons are why the white pine seems to work. And no, we do not have a whole bunch of white pines in Winterset, Iowa is why we like the white pine. We're like everyone else. They're not around here as far as growing in the timber and stuff. We're talking to golf courses. We're talking to tree pullers and cutters and trimmers and finding places that have storms. Most of our limbs come out of someone's yard that I'll go knock on a door and say, hey, do you mind if I trimmed a few of your big limbs off the bottom? And then when you cut one limb and it's close to the bottom of a very mature white pine tree, it might be 15, 20 feet long. You can a lot of times get 2 trees out of it. Size is another one. We've been messing with that a lot. Anywhere from 3 to 8 inch diameter trees is probably what I would say.
We've never even touched an 8 inch.
An 8 inch would be giant.
The biggest we've done is like 6.
6 maybe, and that's huge. So Nick's back there just giggling like a little schoolgirl because I'm talking about diameter or the size of something. And so that's where these guys go. So anyhow, I guess now I'm apologizing for camera guys.
Illinois Deer Classic, not the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest this week. And I'm not quoting this, but I do have a limited supply of rub trees, of white pines that you can come purchase from the
Raised Hunting booth.
But again, very limited supply for this year. We just wanted to see how it would go and we used our boy Jake hooked us up with some more rub trees. So we've got a little bit. So if you are that desperate and you're in the area and you need one, stop by the booth and we'll get you going. Yeah.
You need about an 8-foot tree, 7 to 8 feet, because you're going to bury at least 2 feet of it in the ground. And then you can concrete it or not. We do, because they'll push it over eventually if you don't. Scar it up, throw some of our buck junkie on the tree. I put a little scrape king up at the top of the tree, not where they're rubbing at. That's my little secret. And now you guys know it. And that is what we're doing. And that's just like really quick in a nutshell. That's not going through. I'm going to actually be doing seminars on that at the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest event next week. So hopefully we can help you guys out there. But I bet I've answered 10 questions in the last 2 days between social media and people just calling me now and texting me.
Shakuntala Devi, known for her extraordinary mental calculation skills, found the 23rd root of a 201-digit number in 50 seconds at Southern Methodist University in 1977.
Mentally?
On June 18th, 1980, she multiplied two 13-digit numbers, 7,686,369,774,870 and 2,465,099,745,779 and correctly answered 18, 947, 668, 177, 995, 426, 462, 773, 730 in 28 seconds.
That's a super genius computer head.
She was definitely on the spectrum.
It took her longer to
She's far.
spit that out.
Way,
She broke the
way
spectrum.
on the far end of the spectrum.
Firefighters rescued piglets.
How are you that smart?
Firefighters rescued piglets and sows from a barn fire in Worcestershire, United Kingdom. 6 months later, the farmer sent sausages made from those same animals as a thank you gift.
That is terrible. That's oh boy, that is funny. Poor piglets.
Could have just cooked them right then and been
Just
done.
let it be. Oh, that's messed up. That's mental
funny.
math is nuts. I don't get how you even. I don't even. Yeah.
It just took her 28 seconds to spit out the number.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't even know
That's
what that
wild.
would be. Like, what's even past a trillion?
Bigger number.
I don't know.
Quadrillion.
What did Eric say yesterday?
Is it quadrillion?
I don't know.
A freak
metric.
ton. A metric ton. There you go. So, all right, are we good?
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, don't forget to go to the website, check out all the different stuff we have. I'm not going to list everything.
You have a discount code for podcasters. Everybody, you guys forget RHP Crew 15.
Yeah, don't leave
for
money
listening.
on the table. I mean, if you go there to buy
discount
stuff.
we offer.
Literally at all. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's to you guys.
That's not true. There is one other, and we'll always do that, and that's to our
Oh, the
military and our
First responders.
first responders. So
Yep.
we will always do that. But other than that, you guys just make it where we don't really need to. It's not like we're trying to be rude or anything like that. We just feel like that everything we're doing, we're trying to put as much quality and put our effort in behind it to back it up with customer service. And so therefore it is what it is. And you guys have appreciated that. So we'll continue to do that. But make sure you go to the website, check out all the stuff that's there. There's always new stuff coming. We're always looking for different things to add to the Sense or Canine line or whatever. But go check it out. There's some new apparel and things like that. Don't forget, next week we'll be in Illinois at the Deer and Beer Fest. So if you're anywhere near, swing by, say hi. Maybe you'll go home with one of the rub trees. So other than that, this is the Raised Hunting Podcast signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Swing by, say hi. My name's David, and I'm pretty sly for a white guy.